Now the question is, so something may have worked for the BJP, right? Because at the end of the day, they won like 77 seats. I mean, so what worked? You were mentioning earlier that certain sections. So is it, can we say it's a form of maybe subaltern Hindutva? Because a lot of analysts, experts, commentators were indicating that in their articles and analysis. So, I mean, in BJP in Bengal, is it about subaltern Hindutva? I mean, can we say that? I mean, what does the numbers say?
So what I'm telling, first let us look that whether it has happened or not. Okay. So what I'll do first, subaltern Hindutva means it indicates that whether probably SC, which is 23% of the Bengal population, whether they have voted very strongly in favor of BJP or not. Because in the previous we have seen that Sautals they have voted for TMC. So now it boils down that whether SCs have voted for BJP or not, and from top to bottom, from Darjeeling to Sundarban, whether they have voted or not, we'll check it out. So the one way what we can select that how the SC reserve seats they have voted. Because SC reserve seats, it indicates high concentration of SC voters. So if I select the SC reserve seats, so if you see, there are 68 such seats are there in West Bengal.
SC reserved seats.
SC reserve seats in West Bengal, 68. Now let's look how is the seat tally and what is the vote share. What is that? So if you select the seat tally, so in the SC reserve seats, if you see the contest was very, very close. TMC in 2019, they were leading in 34, BJP in 33 and Congress was in 1. Here the competition, here the TMC was leading in 36 and BJP in 32. When you are looking at this number,
it was, I mean, but still the TMC is a little bit ahead.
But Shorjo, when you are looking at the number, you need to look at the number between 213 and 77. So the gap was very wide. But here,
exactly.
here that in that context we need to analyze.
The gap is much thinner.
Here, gap is much thinner. Look at the vote share. So in those SC reserve seats, if you see, BJP was ahead in 2019 parliament election. BJP polled 44.1 and TMC 44. Means almost slightly 0.2% by vote share. BJP was ahead. Here, TMC polled 46.2% and 42.8. BJP polled 42.8. So the gap is almost 3% approximately. So again, the context you need to understand. In the overall scenario, TMC polled 48, BJP polled 38. So in the SC,
but here, exactly the.
In the SC reserve seats, if you look at that,
the fight is like more.
The TMC
close.
polled little bit lesser with compared to your state average, and on the other hand, BJP polled little bit better with compared to the state average. Okay, so the SC people, SC vote, there was a close contest, I can say. Now what I'll do, some people will tell there are many seats where SC population may be higher, but it is not reserved at SC seat. So for that, like Muslims we have done. Okay, so what I'll do, I will do the same analysis like what we did for the Muslims. So I remove the only reserved seats. What I'll do, I'll select SC population more than 40%. Okay. So there are 33 seats.
And as we can see, most are like border seats. I mean.
Yes. They are the most of the border seats. And if you see when more than 40% SC votes we are talking. So the seat tally if you look for, BJP is ahead.
Okay. And this comes back to the first part when you were saying certain sections and in certain areas.
Yes. Okay. So BJP is ahead. If you see BJP was ahead in 2019 as well, 22 and 11. Here it is like 2013. And vote share, if you look at the vote share, here it was BJP was ahead comfortably in 2019, 48 and 43, 42.8. Here TMC is ahead by only 0.2% vote share. Wherever the state average, if you look for, so the gap is 10%. So here the gap is TMC is ahead only by 0.2%. And in the map view, if you look for, this is the area where Rajbangshi population is significant. So here the Rajbangshi voters are significant. In this part also, what about the 3 seats? Here Rajbangshi and little bit Namo-Shudra. This population is there. This is the part Mutua voters play very major role. And it comes South Chobbish Pargona.
But in South Chobbish Pargona, I mean, TMC has hold on to the SC votes as well.
Yes. So I'll come. Okay, when I put one more filter, I will come. And this is the belt, if you see, there, if you see, the Bagdi and Baudi populations are there. Okay, this is the part. What I'll do, I'll reduce the filter. So what I'll do, I'll select the assembly constituencies of West Bengal where SC voter are greater than 30%. If I select, how many seats are there? 87. Okay, it is very significant. Okay. Now in those 87 seats, if you see, there are almost, you are getting a mix. Here BJP is strong, here TMC is able to do very well, here once again BJP did well, here TMC did well, here BJP did well. So the overall seat tally, if you look for 46-41. And in 2019 parliament election, BJP was much ahead, 51 and 36. Now, Surjo, like if you want to win West Bengal, so what you need to understand, 87 seats almost where Muslim population was greater than 30%. Here also almost 87 seats.
Almost 87.
Almost 87. Okay. So in those 87 seats, TMC was able to win except 5. But here this is not the case. Okay. So what I am telling you, the Muslim consolidation, whatever the concentration happened for TMC, that same concentration, it has not happened
when it comes to SC votes for the BJP.
Okay. The overall, if I look for. Okay. Overall, if you look for, so that the number we are getting. Here, if you see, TMC rather than almost what we can say, SC vote got divided vertically, and maybe TMC is slightly ahead. So if you vote, if you consider the vote share of all these 87 seats, if you see, in vote share wise also TMC is slightly ahead, 46.1 and 43.4, almost more than 2% vote share it is there. So now, whether if we will do it further analysis, like area wise, like what has happened. So what I'll do, I'll go back to the map view. So these are the 87 seats where SC voters are greater than 30%. And what I'll do, I'll select, you see, North Bengal upper hills and North Bengal plain areas. So this is the above Malda. So above Malda is there, South Dinajpur is there, North Dinajpur is there, Darjeeling, your Jalpaiguri, Alipurduar, Coach Bihar and Karshiang.
And this is, I mean, as an aside, this is where the call for a separate union territory is coming.
Yes, yes. So this is the area, okay? And this is the area, their SC population is very significant, okay? So suppose here 25 states, means above Malda, there are 25 states where SC voters are greater than 30%, okay? And if you see in those seat tallies, BJP has done very good, okay? So in those seat tallies, it is 19-6. So in the North Bengal area, means North Bengal plain areas and upper hills area, BJP has done very good in terms of SC vote. Now let's come to the South Bengal. So if I look for the South Bengal, if I go to the map view, so if you see, it is a certain pockets area that Mutua, wherever the Mutua voters are there, BJP is able to do.
And that's Shubhendu Adhikari's area.
That is one area, that is Khejuri seat.
Khejuri seat. Okay.
Khejuri seat. And this is the, if you see the seats is there in the your Hooghly area, that Bagdi population is there in the South Bengal. So if you see here,
but in South 24 Parganas, I mean, how couldn't BJP improve in the SC dominated seats?
If you see South, that's why South 24 Pargana, if you see, you need to give some credit to Abhishek Banerjee at this moment. Okay.
His organizational
skills. Okay. He is from Diamond Hardware. He is from this area. Okay. So wherever if you see there is, and if
but
you see
out here
and one more thing, what you can't tell a very strong leader of BJP from South 24 Pargana.
I mean, organizationally they don't have much presence.
So probably the organization is a much bigger issue.
Okay.
Okay. So that is one part. And if you look for the seat tally in the South Bengal, so there are 26 seats where SC vote is greater than 30% in South Bengal. And if you look at the seat tally was, if you see, TMC is comfortably ahead, 19-7. Okay.
So, I mean, organization also matters. That is probably the main point out here.
Plus, probably your Kolkata, because Kolkata is the center. Okay, so it is the impact of Kolkata. Okay, because these people, they visit Kolkata very frequently.
I mean, socio-economically, they, I mean, probably are, as they have access to the capital, so they are in much better placed kind of a thing.
Whether it's much better or not, more than that, if you see, suppose you are coming to Kolkata. Now Kolkata is voting in favor of TMC. So when you go back to the village, that impact will be there. Okay?
Exactly.
Okay. So Kolkata is voting because Kolkata is an aspiration area. So when an aspiration class is voting for a party, so when you go back, you also carry that aspiration. You also want to connect with that aspiration class. Okay, so it has happened in the South Bengal. So South Bengal, if you say 19 and 7,
Seven.
okay,
I mean,
and in terms of vote share, if you see, it is almost if you see,
50%.
it is 50%.
50%.
Yes, almost the state vote share if you look for. Now what I'll do, I will select the Jungle Mahal part, the Jungle Mahal SC area. If you see there, BJP
still holds on to
BJP done
kind
very
of.
well. Okay, BJP has, if it's the strip, the Baudi and Bagdi area, so there are total 9 seats, such that in the Jungle Mall area where your SC voter greater than 30%, 9 seats, and in those 9 seats, if you look at the seat tally, so BJP is able to win 7 out of this 9, and TMC only 2. So if you see South Bengal, SCs have not voted. North Bengal has voted.
SC,
Jungle Mall had voted, and if I just finish
border districts.
yeah, if I
SCs
finish
there.
it, the Central Bengal. So Central Bengal, if you look like it is Murshidabad, your Birbhum, both the Bardhaman, East Bardhaman, West Bardhaman, and Nodia. If you look for, so there are total 27 seats. So Nodia, certain area, Mutua votes, it played a very major role. Okay, so these are the seats, all Mutuas. Outside Mutua, if you look for, BJP is able to win only 1 seat.
Okay.
Okay. So now, if it's the overall seat tally in the Central Bengal, if you look for, so here also TMC is comfortably ahead. In 2019, BJP was ahead.
Okay.
BJP was ahead. But if you see in 2021.
So it proves the point that TMC is much more organizationally strong in South Bengal and Central Bengal.
Yes. So if I remove everything, if I recap, so if you see SC voters in the Northern Bengal, above Malda,
they wholeheartedly voted for the BJP.
They have voted
but in South Bengal?
And if you see the Mutuas. So one this patch, that means your North Bengal area. If you see the Jungle Mahal part, Jungle Mahal SCs, and your Mutua belt, in if you see South Bengal or Central Bengal, whatever you call it. Okay. So these 3 areas, they have voted for BJP. And interestingly, if you see, this is the belt. Means if I remove the Jungle Mahal part, it is bordering your Bangladesh.
And can we say that recently BJP leader Soumitra Khan, he also spoke of Jungle Mahal being a sort of union territory kind of a. The reason could be this, that strength out there like them, I mean something like that.
You see, Soumitra Khan itself is SC. Okay, and their SCs voted for BJP.
Okay. So that's why.
But I don't feel there is much, it was well thought, some demand or something like that. Okay. Unlike probably North Bengal. North Bengal, if you see, it is like 2-3 MPs that started talking. So there is, it looks like that there is some plan, okay, or at least some consolidation. Here only Soumitra Khan spoke. But no other MP, like in Purulia also BJP has MP, Jhargram also BJP, the sitting MP is from BJP, so no one is speaking. So Soumitra was a different part.
I mean, it didn't find much resonance.
So I think the most important part, what Shoujo, I want to bring it, that bordering Bangladesh, where Muslim population is a little bit high.
There probably the polarization.
Yes, the polarization happened, and you need to understand, these like Mutua, they were in Bangladesh. From Bangladesh they migrated. And they migrated, when they migrated, probably many of them definitely they faced some religious issues. Religious persecution they have observed. Okay. So probably the
voting is a reflection of that.
That memory is there. Okay. And here if you see the Rajbangshi people when they are voting, I think we need to also understand the Rajbangshi in West Bengal they are SC. But in Assam they are not SC.
Okay.
And Rajbangshi has a very strong cultural and social connect with Assam. If you can remember, Mr. Amit Shah visited Bongai Gaon in Assam to meet Mr. Anand Maharaj. Anand Maharaj is very influential in the Rajbangshi community. Okay, this is one part.
And parallelly, there was this Assam election also going on.
Assam election was happening. So the Assam, like Jharkhand.
How Assam, Rajbangshis in Assam voted, they also voted in that same pattern.
Same pattern in West Bengal. Okay, so this has happened. So if you ask me whether SCs have voted strongly like in favor of BJP, the answer is yes and no, both.
Depends on the region you look.
In certain parts, certain communities, so which are the communities they have voted very clearly among the SCs. If you see, Rajbangshis have voted in favor of BJP. Your Mutuas, they have voted in favor of BJP, and Baudi and Bagdi. And if you see Bagdi also in Howrah also you have a strong Bagdi population, but in Howrah they have not voted. Okay, but what happened from the Arambagh belt to? From the Arambagh belt to, if you go towards Purulia, so in that same strip they have voted. So overall SCs they have not voted for that. And if you compare the SC voting constitution with the Muslims, so Muslim voted very, very strongly in favor of TMC. But SCs, it was okay, they have voted
But
certain...
I mean, it leads us to another question. The crucial Uttar Pradesh election is like next year. I mean, already political parties have started working, a lot of political murmur is there. So UP is known for a strong, percentage of SC votes. So can BJP repeat the same performance, or do you think that Mayawati is still a factor? What will happen? What might happen?
If you see, in UP, like in last 2017 assembly election, as per Axis My India, if I am not wrong, BJP polled around only 17 to 18% of the SC votes. Okay. Now, whatever I am getting information, that BSP will not perform very well. But BJP still hold around 18 to 20% votes. So that vote share will shift. Chandrasekhar Azad, if you see some new faces are coming up, like Chandrasekhar Azad in the western UP. So he's gaining some attraction. Probably he's strong. I'm not sure that how much it will convert into vote and everything. So can't say from this West Bengal election, because West Bengal is a border state. UP is also a border state, but it's bordering with Nepal. Okay. So here it is bordering with Bangladesh. So the behavior will be different. For the UP, I feel it is from UP past election results. From that, you need to compare how it has voted in 2019 Parliament. All this data you have to see. From this voting pattern, we cannot conclude anything because it is not apple to apple. It is apple and that is orange. Okay, so we can't conclude that.
Okay.